Can you? Ma'am, now we can't hear you, ma'am. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
Now I can. Now I can.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I had in between disconnected and reconnected. That helped me listen to you all. All right. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is share the screen with you all to just get us on the same page with respect to consonants. As I said, this is going to, and with vowels, this is going to be a slightly more technical semester, but I hope we can have fun even then doing it. So one is when now I think you should be able to see my screen as well. This is in the shared Google slides that we have been using as, I mean, I have been using as a class whiteboard in that sense. And what you can look at is I have given certain links to present. I have given certain links to present, and I've also talked to you about the fact that there's Peter Roach handout, but you don't even have to refer to all of it. What we are doing on the slides may also be sufficient. I'm trying to see that that becomes the base enough. So what we had discussed last time is put up in the slides as images or anything. So hopefully you will be able to refer to it and have your vocabulary memory built in. This is how I generally do it on the whiteboard in class, and I thought that this might be more useful than the earlier aspect where the fricative and the affricate are placed very differently. I just prefer doing this because then it immediately becomes a kind of reference point that t and sh becomes ch, and d and j becomes j. And this is how the sound is. And so just from that angle, I prefer using this, as a visual representative. Otherwise, everything is the same, right? So it doesn't matter. So the way that you're looking at in terms of consonant analysis is that, for instance, if you take something like rat, as you can see at the bottom out here, if you take something like rat, then you would have to look at r and t as the sound, and at, which is the vowel sound, we will come to today. So today we are going to be looking at vowels primarily. And the first chart that I would basically, this is taken from Peter Roth's article and what I generally put up on the board. So I thought we will use this as our textual analysis in this sense. So before we come on here, one of the things that I would really like is, let's start. Yeah. I'm going to share another screen now so that we can start looking at content there. Also, primarily because I want you to see how it gets written and not just about, see it out here. The vowels are fine, but you will also, I would really like it if we can see what is written to a certain extent. So I'm going to share the presentation as I did last time. Just give me a second. Yeah, when you are making sounds, think about your mouth. Are you making the sounds using your lips as open? Do you open your jaw and say something? What are the sounds where you sound it by opening your mouth, right? So one of the first things in terms of the vowel sounds, and Hindi and most regional languages do it very effectively because the vowels are placed with the matras, right? So we all understand the matras as vowels.
So you have a sound like E and ah and aw and o, etc. So you have to think about, are you opening your mouth? One. Second, are your lips spread as in E? When you say E, then your lips are spread, and I'm exaggerating the sound. Or are your lips, rounded, like ooh? Your lips get rounded. So think about how you are making those sounds with rounded lips or spread lips. That is the front. Generally, when you are spreading all the sounds where your lips are kind of spread, if you ever had a cut at the edge of your lip, you will realize that it is difficult to say things like and e. It kind of hurts. Versus oo and ah and aw in the sense. So think about those. And so spread versus rounded. And generally all the spread sounds are from the front of your mouth. E comes from the front of your mouth. O is the air is actually released from the back of your mouth. So try saying this while I am sharing the screen, right? Can you get this aspect in? And let me know if you disagree, because that's very important as well. Okay. So if you're doing a palette, this is what the palette looks like. Right? This, if I'm looking at the tongue, in a sense, would be the front. This would be the back. Generally, all the front vowels are, in a sense, all lips. Is also something that you would think about as what we talk, and I will put it on the right side here because it's easier for me, is where your lips are closed. Okay. Closed. Then I can draw something out here which would indicate
There is some issue.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
in a sense is half open or in a sense. So that is where it is. Can you hear me clearly?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ever since you made the diagram, we couldn't hear you properly. It was coming very static, the entire thing.
Can you hear me now? 1 second. I'll just change the microphone. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I hope.
Is this clearer? Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, perfect.
Yes,
Yeah?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. This is
Okay,
perfect.
so I'll just use this. Yeah, all right, fine. I'll use this. So can you now? I'll just replay. I mean, not replay, but I hope that you were able to see it. Anyway, the diagram is simple right now. But the fact is that we would have front, back, these are all the front ones are also about the fact that they would be rounded lips or unrounded or spread lips as we call them, right? So this is important to kind of look at in terms of the understanding of what front lips really deal with. 1 second. So this becomes your three-term label in a sense that some of this is what you would be focusing upon as front, back, and there is also something that we talk about as the center, something where the sound comes from the center of your mouth. Okay, so these are the center vowels. There are many of them are sounds. Now, one of the questions, and as a student, I always ask this question, what the hell is the difference between half close and half open? So can someone tell me, would there be a difference between half close and half open?
Ma'am, half closed mouth may say we will say words like but then if we say like a bigger thing, then it will be sorry, that will be completely open. I'm so sorry. But half closed ka concept I got.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question based on what you just said, which is a very good point, and thanks for putting up the sound there. Let me ask you with respect to another element. Say when you want to say up, okay, and you want to say this. Can you see the word I have written out here?
We can't see your shared screen, ma'am.
You can't see my shared
It's not
screen
shared.
now. Okay, wait 1 minute. Let me reshare it. Yeah. Please, these classes are important with shared screen. So every time you can't see a shared screen, let me know. I will. These two words. Can you see the, are they both pronounced in the same way?
Ma'am, only the starting half
Is
part.
okay, this versus the other one, UPON.
Yes, ma'am.
Are they pronounced the same way?
Up, upon. No.
So is the different?
A
Yes,
little.
ma'am.
Correct. So this up basically is written in this manner. This is the symbol for it. Okay. So yeah, I think this should be fine. Yeah. So this is the symbol for it, right? It is an inverted V or a caret if you're looking at it in that sense, the sound, right? This is the sound. So the way you write it is a, per. How would you pronounce this UPON? Can one of you pronounce it again for me?
Upon?
Yes. Now, do you open your mouth as much for that?
No.
Right. So the way that we write it is this way. Excuse my, this is known as the schwa. So the way that you would write it is a, per, on. So we'll come to the on a bit later, but this is how it would start getting written. Okay, so this is the point that you make in terms of your half open, open, half close, etc. So there is a difference that your mouth here is still open. Now say E in contrast to a. This And now say E. This is the symbol for E. As in hid. E. Say it. Is there a difference in how your mouth opens and closes? Upon, a versus E, hid. Is your mouth a little bit more close? And in upon, is your mouth is it slightly
Yes,
open?
ma'am.
In
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
it's
terms of
barely
lips?
open.
Yeah. So that is the point between half close and half open. So they decided that there is a distinct difference between half close and half open. And you're looking at it in terms of it and saying, what the hell? I mean, most of us, when we first looked at half close and half open, we were like, but isn't something half close, half open anyway? So what's the big difference? And then we were told, no, but you have to write it in this manner. So someone somewhere decided that there is a difference. We would have just preferred, instead of them calling it half close, if they had called it, 3/4 close and 3/4 open, or 1/4 close, or something of that sort, instead of doing half close, half open. All right, that is the one aspect that you could be looking at. Now, when you say E, hid, versus E, this is the small I with 2 dots. This is your buddy Iki Matra in a way, as in heed. Is there a difference in how you say this?
And there is more pressure from the back of the throat. Like that.
Yes, yes. But it's also that your front jaw, if you ever have a thing, it actually comes from the front of your jaw in terms of the pressure put on the sound. E, you would actually have the jaw coming closer to your upper jaw and then releasing the sound. So if you have if you ever have had any jaw injury or anything of that sort, you will realize that there are certain sounds that can be made because your jaw does not have to move, so your front vowels can be made, and your back vowels sometimes can be made because the front jaw, maybe one portion is, maybe the movement is allowed. So it really will depend on those elements, right? So now there are other sounds that we will be looking at. One of it is, when you focus on the sounds, is eh, as in head. Okay, and I'm just going to not look at the position primarily, but I'm just saying that this is in the open thing. This is how set is written. Okay, can you think about set? Say a. There is no sound equivalent exactly in Hindi. A, set. In Hindi, it would be written as set, almost. If I had to write it, then the only one that you have closest to it is the eki matra. But that's not really how set is pronounced, right? Set is a. A. Yeah. And then you have another, which is for had. A. This. Had. A. Is there an equivalent sound in Hindi for this?
No, ma'am.
Right. There is another sound which we make with the center vowels. This is written in the same way as schwa, but it's a longer schwa, right? This comes in if you are, especially when you're writing something like third, thirst. If you want to look at it, world in that sense, or the r is kind of silent and there is an sound that is kind of elongated. The dots basically say that these are the long vowels. Okay, so the long vowels are basically, if you notice within the upon and the third the is same, but it is just the elongation that differs. Can you try saying it yourself? Upon, third, the third consonant, the first consonant.
The erd and the erst is longer.
Yeah. Right, in thirst, in thirst, for instance, even if I don't exaggerate it, in thirst, it definitely is longer. The r, the l sound, the r sound. And I'm going to go back to the fact that we had this initial thing where we talked about the approximants, and now you realize why the r, l, etc. come to be known as approximants, because you realize very often the sound is kind of overcome by the vowel sound. That is why we call them semi vowels in that sense. You realize how that happens? This is how it happens. In many of the sounds, you will actually find that the r, the l sound, etc. are kind of overshadowed by the consonant, the vowel sounds. That is why approximants, or they are approximate sounds, very often they are approximated. Similarly with yellow or anything like that, it's very often the vowel sound that is emphasized a lot more. So these are your front 4 vowels. These are your center 3 vowels. There are 3 vowels in the center. The up, the and the upon, and the third in that sense. These are the 3 sounds that you get. Then there are 5 back vowels, in a sense that you're looking at different sounds that come in. We will have a few more that we will look at, but I'm just going to push the in. Which is the one that you make sounds where your lips are completely closed and rounded?
O
Clear.
sound, ma'am. O sound, ma'am.
Ooh sound. Ooh sound.
Yes.
The ooh sound, as in pool. Okay. This will be your oo ki matra, badi oo ki matra. The oo sound, as in oo, as in pull, is a different word. है ना? This will be your oo ki matra, as in the short one. What else may be there? And you said the o sound. Now, can you think about how that sounds? As in
Ma'am,
caught? Huh? Tell me.
can it also be all? All.
Yes, all, but all is not oo, right? Can you
Right.
think about how your oo sounds when your lips are closed, and think about all, aw. Look at the aw.
Right,
Now,
ma'am.
are your lips as close?
Yes.
No,
Are
ma'am.
they as close as when you're saying oo?
No, ma'am.
Huh.
No, ma'am.
When you say ooh, your lips are kind of closed. They're rounded, but they are closed also, right? Like ooh. Just exaggerate the sound and then say aw. Your lips do open up a bit, isn't it? In aw.
They
इतना तो
make
Yes,
a
बोलते
ma'am.
हैं, है ना? Yeah.
like awkward. Oh,
Yes,
like the
absolutely. Awkward, all, etc. So there is a short this way that you can write, or just an ulta C. Either of it is fine. You could write either of it. Sorry, 1 second. Just. This is enough to write as an ulta C. You don't have to write the fancier script which comes in, but I'm just writing the fancier script as to how you would be using it, for a reason that the sound this is how you may read it in some, you know, script there. So both of these are basically how you would be writing cot, for instance. And then there is another sound which comes, which is more slightly longer, which is your sound out here. This is for cot. And yes, there is a difference in how you pronounce cot and how you pronounce cot. It's not the same in the sense, but or awkward in that sense, right? All versus awkward in that sense. There will be a slight elongation there. This is the R sound. You can also write it in this manner. It is okay if you write it like this. This is for car, car. And I think there is an entire advertisement that based on the fact that, you know, you don't really pronounce the R sound in car, right? What you can also have is the simple which comes. You can write it either in this manner as a fancier script or just as a regular one. This is your R sound in without the car or anything. So it may be something like, you know, any word which would have an R sound, but without that elongation. Can you give me any word for it? R without elongation.
Ma'am, caught. CAUTHT.
No, that is awe. Awe and ah are different. Ask, for
Bag.
instance. Yes, bag, a. Bag is a.
Ma'am, heart.
So now what we are going to do is, this is the fun part that we are going to do. We are going to start looking at words that you have and try and do the vowel transcription for them. Okay. So let's try it. Can you think about these charts in a sense? This is the chart that you have in the, if you are already on the link, I will also share the link with you. It is there. If not, I'm sharing the link with you. Not a member of the chat. Why does this happen again?
Ma'am, your voice is not very loudly, like it
Now
isn't.
it is
Yes,
clear,
ma'am.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I'm not holding the mic right next to me. So 1 second. So you can look at this, you know, presentation to keep that in mind. I just wanted us to start off with, you know, a kind of exercise to get you to start thinking where these sounds emerge from.
The one you were asking earlier, wala, could try be the option, the example for it? Try.
Ask is the example. So since you did put in the fact of try, let me give you a statement out here. You know, when we say try, these are the vowel sounds that you have as an option. All right. 1 second. These vowel sounds don't just exist by themselves. So what occurs with these vowel sounds is that what you will have is something that we call diphthongs. So they move. Is my screen still visible to y'all?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Harsh is a good word, but harsh is also something that like car will come in, right? Because it is going to be harsh. It is elongated. Whereas start is perhaps a better word to use. It's not harsh, it is harsh. It is start. So start is a good word to look at in terms of things. It's related to ask. Now these sounds, these vowel sounds, these are the only vowel sounds in English. Did you notice that there is no O sound in English? If these are the vowel sounds, there is no O sound in English. How do we then deal with that aspect? Yeah, that's the first part of this entire exercise. What also occurs in these sounds is that when I draw a chart, I'm going to just draw a very quick chart out here and deal with this. There will be diphthongs that move from one position to the other. All right. So, for instance, if I have you know, a okay, if I have a sound like what you talked about as try. Now, how does try really emerge? It will be a sound that goes and moves towards the E sound. This is how the sound will emerge. Try. Look at it. This is your chart. Try. T, R, A, E. This is how you would be writing it. Do you get it? This is called a diphthong. Diphthongs are basically two vowel sounds, one which moves from one position to the other. You could talk about them as closing diphthongs, as in they are fronting or closing diphthongs where you move them there, or you can talk about them as where are they oriented, where do they begin from, which is what we talk about. These are back oriented diphthongs. There are some front oriented diphthongs. So let's take up certain words and I will ask you for those sounds, how those sounds get made. So now I want word for day. Look up day. How will you do day? How do you pronounce day? I'll go back to this and try thinking of which are the sounds that will be for day. Does day will have anything in the back? No, right? Nothing in the back, no, because it doesn't have ooh, anything. So nothing in the back, right? Can it be from a? Does it have any of these sounds? Day? Does it have any of these sounds? A, d, a. Does it have
No, ma'am.
d, a? Does it have d, a, as in set? A.
Yes, ma'am. That particular sound. Yes.
And then does it have another sound? It has an E sound. Day. So there is another one that comes in, which is it goes from your E. The way you write will be d, e, day. Also goes for date. Also goes for other words. You can keep looking at those. Do you get how the sounds move? So the diphthongs are basically going to be clubbed in with, let me look up. Another word that I can ask you for is, how will you pronounce pour? Let's not do pour. Let's do, how will you pronounce pout? Pout. Exaggerate the sounds. How will you write it in Hindi? Pout.
A-U.
The oo. The
But
oo.
oo is there. Okay. Is it
Starting
going to be just per oot? Then what is the
Out.
difference
It will
between
be a.
It's ow, ma'am.
correct.
It will be a.
Absolutely. So it will move in this manner. It will move from here to here. Pout. Or written as per a oot. So don't do, I mean, these are symbols, so they should be written as symbols. But I'm just, yeah. So you have pout. Can you think of any other things like that? Try, my, of course we did, pout. Anything else?
Mouth.
Out.
Mouth, yes, mouth.
Out. I mean.
Yeah, so all these words, all
Yeah.
right?
Shout.
Okay, yes. So many words that you can automatically understand with in the same reference. Now let me ask you for some other aspects, right? Let me ask you for boy. Let's do this. Boy or toy or koi. So many, but all of these. Or. So now tell me what are the sounds going to come from?
O-A-I. O-A. O-A-I.
Oh, yes. O
A.
and E. It's not A, no. It is O E, no. B
Yes, ma'am.
O
Oi.
E. Where is the R there, Sanjay?
हाँ मैम it's
हाँ,
yeah.
तो ये होगा, है ना? So it will be boy, koi, toy. When you're looking at it, it is moving in this manner. So just to identify, it will be boy, which will be written as B O E. Okay, that is boy. Day. Hair.
Neha.
Hair. Pear. Can you think of hair? Pear. Hair. Pear.
A-E-A.
Air. It is like
A.
the air sound.
Yes. Is it like set?
Slightly
Yes,
like
ma'am.
set. Not completely, but
So then think
set.
about it. How will it
Hair.
be?
It's more
Hair.
like that.
The AE sound, like
A E.
the
Is it like day?
yes,
Hair?
kind of. Thoda. It is a fusion of set and day. Something in between. Day, hair, something.
Maybe set
It
and
won't be
upon.
fully, no? It won't be day, right? It is not day,
Day,
right?
day. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
It was not day, no?
It is day and set.
Hair.
Hair.
Is hair like day?
No, ma'am.
हाँ तो
Set, hair, set, hair. Huh. Yeah. Kind of like set. Set, hair.
okay, let me change this to hail. Pale. Try this. Are they going to be the same as day? Are we saying that a, hail, hey, e, hey, her, e, l, hail? Are we saying like that? Like how we say for day? Or do we say he, her, l?
It's double A जो हिंदी में A ही होता है.
Hindi won't be any use out here because
So
Hindi
that
words and
would
vowel sounds don't make similar trajectory at all. But हिंदी में अगर होता भी है तो आप बताइए क्या होता है?
तो वो दो A मतलब A पे जो A होता है जो A के ऊपर दो मात्रा होती है.
आई कहाँ आता है हेल में? वो तो ऐनक का आई है ना? ऐनक in that sense. That is your A. That doesn't come at all.
Ma'am, the center one, like how we pronounce third.
Correct. So what happens is that there is a movement from here to this shwa. you have sound that comes from there, which moves in that manner. And that is your next aspect that comes through in terms of diphthongs, which is your pair or hair, or, you know, so this is what you would write for one, and the other one is pair, hair. So per, a, and the r may not get pronounced in pair, but say I'm writing pale, you know, then the r may get pronounced, right? So paired. So this is how it would be written. Do you get it? It is a very slight, it's basically just the is just elongating the s sound. People were saying that, yeah, it sounds like at, but it is not set at. It is not just that. So what is happening is that you are elongating the s sound a little bit by adding the to it. So air. So another way that you can look at is the word air. The way that it gets written is a and a. That's how air is written. Air. Air. You will have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
exaggerate the sounds. The best way to learn this is by listening to Jeffrey Boycott doing cricket commentary, because we'll come to other sounds that we have not yet done, but I will come there a bit later. Most of these sounds are done. I will do a chart revision out here a bit later also. So we have oi, out, try, okay. We have another one, which is Shakti Kapoor's things, which is the out, ow, right? The air. So what I need is, yes. How will you pronounce this word? I've already given you a hint. Now you tell me how you will pronounce it.
Ma'am, does it also go like the previous one from U to Schwa?
Absolutely. Very good. Yes. It is pu, u, yes, absolutely. That's how it goes. Because what it's actually doing is just elongating the oo sound with a slight that comes there. Poor. Poo, that's it. Absolutely. So now you have a lot of other words that can be there, right? Like what else could be there? Tour.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So you have a lot of other words that could be now linked in that sense. There is another one that we will have, which is your a, ear. Yeah, another one that I did not do is the reverse of this. So there is another which is, how will you pronounce here? I've given you a hint again. I'm purposely doing it in some order, obviously.
Ma'am, does it go from the center to E?
Is it here? Does it go from center to E in here? Think.
Ma'am,
From the
Ma'am,
center,
E
ma'am.
to A,
Huh?
E to A, as in near. E
Yes,
to A.
yes, absolutely. That's how it goes. So I'm just going to try and make this more color coded so that you guys can get the color. It's easier then. Correct. That is how it goes, right? Because there are just too many arrows otherwise to really look through. But obviously this is a very important sound that comes in that sense, right? You have your day, which is basically this element, your AU that comes in, the OE that comes in, all of these sounds, RE that comes in. So there are 3 sounds that end in E. There are 3 sounds that end in and there are primarily these words that are there. There is one last one that I'm looking at. How many did we have in terms of diphthongs? Let me just also highlight that. Let me put them in terms of back oriented and front oriented. 1 minute. So what we are looking at is how they are oriented. Oriented means what is their beginning vowels, all right? So when we say back oriented, it means that the first sound is beginning from the back vowel, right? So you have something which is your, sorry. It is your E, right? Back oriented, there is E. Then there is E. Then there is U. There is also U, isn't it? Au, pout, right? What about others which are front oriented? What are they where you're looking at the front oriented? Can you give me the ones which are front oriented? Class?
EI.
Yes. So front oriented is E, not E. And then another is E. Anything else? Currently not, right? Isn't there another one? There is a third one. This. Isn't that another one? From A, just see how many are starting. There is your A and as in this is for day. This is for air. Then there is your another one which is your ear, right? As in here, right? Or ear if you want to keep it at that simple, isn't it? So anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how many have we done so far?
7.
7. There is an 8th one, and this is a center oriented one. The only one that is center oriented. Please note, so far we have not had any word that would indicate no. How will you pronounce this? And I've already given you a hint. So how will you pronounce this?
The one from the center, ma'am. To
Yes.
U.
So, yes, absolutely. So it is to U. And if you do Australian English, you will realize the kind of use that they have for it. It is basically the word that you would use for go. It is not no, it is not no, it is no. Okay, so this is how it moves. I should have used another color. This is how it moves. Sorry, not the arrow controls. So it is and oo, which is for no. So the way you write it is no. Have you heard of this in, have you heard these in your, commentaries, especially when you listen to Australian commentaries? It is not Australian. If you listen to Australian people, they will also say Australian, Australian. It is Australian. That is how it is written. So can you think of any other words? And pronounce it in that way. Pronounce it in that way.
Ma'am, actually also show is not show, it's show.
Yes.
Like the way they
yes.
talk.
And that is why we say showered.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Bowl. No, not bowl. It is he bowled at them. It's not bowled at them.
Also, baller is like a bowler.
Bowler.
The bowler
yes.
put the bowl, and not the baller put the through the ball in.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hello.
So yes to all of that. Anything else?
No,
no.
Pranav. No, Blake.
Sorry?
Where is that from? Ostrich. Ostrich.
Can you give me, can you write it in the chat? What the word that you're saying?
Ma'am, she's saying the word ostrich.
Ostrich is ostrich.
Yeah.
Like Australia. Like Australia.
Yeah.
So this is how it basically works. So these are diphthongs that,
These are all called diphthongs. And they primarily are things that there are also triphthongs and so on and so forth. But we are not concerned with that. What we are concerned with is diphthongs in your transcription. Okay. And what we will be looking at in terms of the analysis will only be limited to the vowel sounds, 8 of them, and the 8 diphthongs that we have, right? We realize that we have 8 diphthongs, है ना? So those are the only things that we're going to be concerned with. Okay. Is this clear? Kind of?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It is slightly difficult. In terms of it, what you will have to do is practice more. So one of the things that I'm going to start getting you all to now do is do the reverse way. Instead of by hearting all of this, which you can of course by heart, but more than that, it is much more fun when you do it as a language. So I'm sure in school you learned it as P language and stuff like that. I'm going to write the transcript for the words, and please note that all of these are going to be related to, relative to how you are sent to back, I think, right? Order. One second. I'm going to re-share the screen with this. Can you see my screen? Yeah. So let's try this with new words. And now I'm going to just type out and you have to read for me, all right? And I'm going to stop sharing my video because it makes no sense. Let me know if you're not able to hear, okay? And I will write out a few statements and you tell me what it means. Sorry.
Can you tell me what I have written?
I am tired
I am
already.
tired already.
Yes. Now?
But we think this is doable.
But I think
I hope so. Okay, so you are able to kind of contextualize and read and come out with all of this. This is actually one of the easier and the more fun ways of trying to come up with these readings. Please also think of making these charts available. Not available in the sense that you're revising it every day, but you're not always only concerned with what is the front label and the back label and all of it. It will come with time. It will absolutely come with time. What you should be concerned with is the how are you going to use this? So the more you will come up with these elements of what someone was asking, how is ostrich pronounced? How is this pronounced? How is that pronounced? Those are important aspects to keep in mind. They are useful to, help go forward, but you will actually have more fun if you are trying to just transcribe and then over a period of time try and understand where is this coming from or how is it being used or anything of that sort. So the way that you're getting asked this in exam, and I will just share that with you. Stop share, new share. Give us a worksheet of this. You can do your own stuff. I mean, the P language was something that all of us did. Sorry, stop presenting. The P language was something, or the mirror language was something that all of us did when we were, in school. And we had great fun making all of our friends having to try and get them to, just understand what we had tried and written. And we invented new languages, right? I mean, I remember in school, we were all crazy about inventing new kinds of languages. Number games was one of the things that you did, where you would have to write or another was you would write the next letter of the word that you wanted. So if you had to write no, then you would write LMN, no, O, and then you would write P because, that is how you wanted to write it. So the OP had to be read as NO kind of things. Have you not done this in school?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
So try making this fun for yourself by doing the same thing here also. Because it would actually make more fun and sense if you're doing it that way. Can you see my screen now? I think what I'll do is I won't, take too much more of your time for a reason that it will become very tiring if you are going to be constantly only doing the vowels in this manner. We can do a few more exercises. Yeah. We can look at a few more exercises in this way that I have given you, but the primary objective is that in the exam, if you are given a poem,
you have to write it down in this manner. I have a car. So this is the transcription for 5 marks. The other part of it is to give a 3-term label, which is to understand that the k, for instance, if you're looking at car, the k sound is velar. It is coming from the back of the mouth. It is a plosive. It releases with a burst of air, and it is unvoiced or voiceless in that sense. The h sound is glottal, and it is a fricative, and it also is voiced. The v sound, because there is a v sound, is also a fricative, but it is now, where is v coming from? Labiodental, right? The position is labiodental, and it is definitely voiced, right? So that is how you have to give the 3-term labels in the exam. And the vowels, in the sense, if it is just a diphthong, you just have to say that it is a back-oriented diphthong because it begins from the back position. If it is a vowel, then you will have to identify the 3-term labels for the vowel. That for instance, is center. The position is center. It is half open, and it is neutral, in a sense that your lips don't really move anywhere with it. Unlike the spread lips and the round lips that we had out here, the center is always neutral lips, right? So that is where it comes from. So this is what you would have to look at. But my suggestion is that, you know, you have more fun in trying to transcribe, get the, understand the position, understand the sounds and the transcripts, and then work with them, because that is how you would have. So for instance, on would be aw, na, right? It is on, it is all, on. So aw and then na. So upon would be a, per, or na, right? So that is, you just try exaggerating the sounds and coming up with those elements, and have fun. And over a period of time, like over 3-4 months or anything, if you have the chart in front of you, like you paste it up somewhere, and you're just looking at it once a day, you know, not even spending conscious effort looking it up, I promise you it will be like a film song. You will actually learn to use these by somehow. It just subconsciously comes into your head. So the way to do it is not to look at it and say, oh, let me by heart it. Anyway, the vowels are slightly easy, because everything that the spread lips, because there is a physicality to it, you know that these 4 front hai to fir spread hai, then you also know the physicality. So this becomes slightly easier to by heart in terms of labeling. But vowels are difficult in terms of transcription, because when you go down to look at it and look at ostrich ko ostrich bolna hai ki ostrich bolna hai, and by the time you're thinking through all of that, it becomes problematic in transcription. So the way is, you write how you speak. There may be a couple of mistakes you make in pronunciation, which all of us do, which is okay, but you're not going to get full 5 marks for just one mistake. You're not, you know, full 5 marks are not going to be taken away. There are certain words that you will always know how to say. For instance, I, for instance, or a. Now again, is it a or is it a? Is it a car? I have a car, or I have a car? Tell me.
A car. A car.
Can I also say a at any point? So we will not mark you down for saying that, because there are countries, there are people, and we understand that the Indian English is heavily influenced by American English, British English, Australian English, African English. There are world Englishes that come in, and we also have our own Englishes, and we are also very, very keen to understand how to say some things. The French English sounds very different from the British English. The German English sounds very different. Their pronunciations themselves are very different, and their accents, of course, make you know, a difference in it. For instance, the Malayalis, when they speak the per, even if they are saying per, there is so much of emphasis that comes in that it sounds like burr to us, you know. So it just sounds burr to us, and that is where your entire accent problems may come in. The aspiration as element of sound makes the accent a problematic element, right? And try these make this fun. And I promise you, if you try more of these and try looking up these elements, it will be a lot fun. You can write and share messages. So let's practice this on Saturday. I don't want to overload you. Is this kind of clear?
Yes, ma'am.
As of now, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So, yeah, so then I don't want to overload you. I would rather you spend some time thinking this up and let us, work on this on Saturday with a few more examples and stuff. Did I miss out on? Yeah. Yeah. So is that okay? Because I don't think I want to lengthen the session and overload you. And going to something else is going to be very problematic right now. The effect of the sounds are not as important in your poetry analysis, but we will come back to the effects as well. But this is where largely you're rounded in, and this is how you may have to transcribe. And I purposely put the r in brackets, please note, because the r is supposed to be silent, but I did not know whether you would still get it. So I thought I will put it in brackets to just emphasize that there may be some people who will say tired, because they will use the r in it, because r bolna hai. Because Hindi, if you have written something, then you must speak it, right? But in English, that is not the case, because English comes from a variety of languages. It comes from a focus on, German English and Germanic languages, Italian, Latin languages. It has so many influences, Chinese, and all the kinds. So it does make a difference in how you pronounce it, how you pronounce different words. The roti, tea, the dosa, sir, are all very different, right? The dosa may be also in some places dosha, and in some places dosai, and that these are different ways that people will write it, and so they may write dosa as they may write it as dosa and then pronounce it as sh. It may be that you write your name as Anusha, but the Bengali may pronounce, like I would write it as Anusha, but the Bengali may pronounce it as Anusha. So, but at the same time, the written script may still be and not o, right? So it really depends on which language the word originated from. And the pronunciations will therefore differ. And that's a beauty of English and the complexity of English. So as someone pointed out, there is a beautiful poem I will share next time about pronunciations, but you do have Amitabh Bachchan talking about how English is so problematic in that Amar Akbar Anthony song, isn't it? Which song is it? Which is the one which says that you have your, the different words are pronounced differently. For instance, through, all of it, pronunciation. I'll share that also the next time. Or you can share about pronunciations. Yeah? Like though and think about these as words. Are these all the same? In the chat, I don't see anything. Are they the same? though,
Now,
through,
the second half of it has a similar sound.
thorough, rough, thorough and rough.
Ma'am, they're all different.
See, look at it. Just look at this is through, right? I mean, you would have said, if I'm doing it, you know. If I'm looking at it from this is through, isn't it? Let me through. This is thorough. Just look at the ROUGH also. And then this is rough. This is a different pronunciation altogether. The spelling remains the same. Again, through and throw, of course, that will be things. So though you have your throw pointed, the O sound, the O alphabet itself has so many different varieties of being pronounced. I can, you can do an exercise in just trying to say, and someone was, you know, talking about it the last time. Let me give you this. Say O as surprise. Do you pronounce them all the same way? For instance, when you're saying O for surprise, would you say O? How would you say it? Yeah, my name is Anthony Gonsalves. May I think that comes in as a thing. But coming back to this, can you say O in surprise? Oh, is it the same way that you would say in understanding? Oh, do you get how your transcription may also change? Because O, that's how it, in that sense is how it will come.
Ma'am,
Surprise?
surprise would barely have O at places.
Yeah, it would just
It'll
be
be,
oh.
huh?
Oh, yeah, it would be
Yeah,
like
yes,
oh,
ma'am.
and that kind. So it is just a sharp oh kind of thing. But when you're looking at understanding, it is more like the gets emphasized, right? Ooh. Again, you will go back to oh. So it would be oh kind of, and then you prolong it with an sound that comes in at the end. With shock, it is oh. It is not even oh. It is oh. It is not ooh. It is oh as much. Right? And then you have anger that you may want to pronounce. But you realize how the pronunciation actually will change a little bit. It's not just the same word. It's actually the intonation, not just the intonation that changes. It's not just the pitch that changes. It's actually even the pronunciation that sometimes changes. But you, in writing, you may still write it just as or OH in that sense. But the way you pronounce it will be very different. So we do pay attention to it in terms of drama and writing, and the Irish English may be different and the Scottish English may be different, etc. So think through these, make more exercises like these, and we'll come back on Saturday and have fun. But for now, I think this is enough on your brains to load you up. Please do look through these sheets. And as I said, if you can, and what I really found useful in my student days to do is just take the sheet or draw it up on the back of a calendar and look at it every third, fourth day, just as a look, just look at it and not really try to by heart. And then trust my brains and my memory to remember and allow me to assimilate. It takes about a month. Okay, and you do get it. It's like that song that you hear 1500 times during Ganesh Chaturthi, and then it just stays in your head, even if you don't want it to stay in your head. That's how it should be. Okay, but you may have to take the effort to refer to it every 2-3 days for just 5 minutes. Don't try and by heart. Or if you are very good at by hearting, by heart. There is ways to do that also. It's just that I don't think it is really necessary to. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And note that all of you know all these pronunciations, like Ria is saying, that you all know these pronunciations. Now all that we are doing is bringing in the theory to it. So it's not like you have not done this. You have done this and more. As children, you have learned how to pronounce all this complicated stuff, how to produce sound, how to control your breath. You've done all of that and more as 2-3-year-olds. So this should be easier. Okay. So with that, I bid adieu for today. Okay. Chalo. The attendance is automatically taken. So people who are multiple times exiting and entering you don't have to stay in the meeting, Ria. You can exit and you can be proud of yourselves in that sense. The meeting will automatically take place. So I'll give you that attendance for sure. So don't worry about the attendance. All right. You don't have to meet. I'll end the meeting for now. And the links are all there if you want. So just join Dhrumi's lecture the next at 3:15, isn't it? I'll see you on Saturday at 1. Okay. But do go through this and have more doubts. Okay. In the Saturday session, you can ask me, how do we pronounce this? Why do we pronounce it like that? There are certain other tips that I would like to give you, but on Saturday, because this is just overload. Okay. All right. See you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you,
Thank you,
Nihal, for that
ma'am.
link. We can all explore that link, perhaps. Yes, that is a nice one, actually. I'm just opening it. I mean, it's just opened to tell me that it seems to be interesting. So I'll check that out. Thank you, Nihal. Yeah. All right. Bye, class. Attendance is taken.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
It was
Bye.
interesting,
Thank you, ma'am.
amazing today.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Chalo. Bye.